Hello and welcome to this full beginner's tutorial on how to get started building your own games in Roblox. So the first thing that you have to do is download Roblox Studio. So the easiest way to do that is open up a new browser tab and go to roblox.com/create. And then click the link here that says Start Creating, and it'll automatically download Roblox Studio if you don't already have it on your PC. Once you've downloaded it, go ahead and open it up, and when you do, you'll see a few different things. You'll see on the left-hand column, you'll see New, My Games, Recent, and Archive. So when you're wanting to create or start a new game, you just go to New here, and you can create from all of these wonderful templates. If you want a blank slate, you can just go to like a base plate here or classic base plate, or even start from like flat terrain, but these are all going to be templates. You can sort them by theming. If you want to do a game like within a castle or a modern city, you can start that and get some of the base kind of assets in the game from the theme and template, or you can sort it by gameplay. So you can have like a racing game, an obby, which is kind of like a platformer. You get the gist, right? So you have all of your templates here, and then you have your new option there. So we're going to go ahead and start with the flat terrain option here, just to show you what that looks like. If I click into one of these templates, this is going to be the main interface of Roblox Studio. Everything up here, think of it like your toolbar within Photoshop or any kind of software that you may have used in the past. And then over here, we're going to see the actual toolbox where we can go and see inventory, marketplace, where you can search for different things and models and items and add those here. Now, what we see here is going to be just the basically the surface. This is going to be kind of the template. And in order to drag around and view things, you would just hold down on your right mouse button and just go ahead and maneuver around until you see the area that you want to see. You can use the mouse scroll wheel to go back and to zoom out, and then you can use the mouse scroll wheel to zoom back in. Now, obviously, there's nothing here to begin with, right? So what you would want to do is start adding different items or structures or what they call assets to your game. So the first thing that I always like to add is my spawn point. So you would go here and you would go to search over in your toolbox. Oh, one thing first is that over here you're going to see yours may look a little different than mine. It may look like this, or it may be, different, but you can go and click on any of these toolboxes here and you can attach them to each other, put them on top of each other to where you see them kind of tabbed out. You can maneuver the workspace to look any way that you want it to look. So click and hold and get it how you want it to look, and you are good to go. So let's add our first thing, which is going to be our spawn point here. So go ahead and find where you want to locate that spawn point, and go over here to your toolbox, go to search, and just go ahead and type in the word spawn, and then go ahead and click on spawn point right here. And you can see a bunch of different models or assets are going to come available to you here. The one I like is the invisible spawn point. You can just click on it, and as you can see, it is now added that to your game. Now, I'm going to go to Control Z to undo that. If you ever do something that you want to undo, you just go to Control Z and that will remove it. I'm going to add an actual visual spawn point here so you can actually see what I'm working with. I've actually just went back and removed the terrain just so it's easier to see what I'm doing with the different assets, so you can get a better viewpoint of kind of how to manipulate the assets on your game surface. So once we've added our spawn point here, you can click and hold it by choosing the select tool here. So our different tools are going to be up here in the left-hand corner. The select tool allows you to click and hold and move the asset around the game space. The move tool allows you to basically manipulate it kind of exactly with pinpoint precision, the X, Y, and Z axis. So you have your movement here, movement this way, and then up and down. So you can put it below the surface, but we're going to go ahead and put it right on the surface here. And again, click and hold the right mouse button to kind of maneuver around the screen. And then you can also use your WASD keys to basically move as if you have your character within the game. All right, so click on that there, and you can see with the move tool, if we want to rescale it or resize the size of it, you go to scale, your scale tool up here, and then you click and hold, and you can drag the axis in which you want to increase. Now, when you have this selected over here, you're going to see the properties, which is going to be, once you have it selected, your properties will be over here. you can actually go here under size and you can make it however exact you want it to be. So let's say we want the x-axis to be 20, we want the y-axis to be 1, and we want the z-axis to be 20, and then hit enter. And as you can see, that's going to now allow it to be exactly the way that we want it. So if you know exactly how you want it, the easiest way would be just to click and hold and drag. That's the easiest way of doing it. Now, if we go over here to our toolbox, and by the way, the toolbox is right here. If you want to, you can click and hold and drag that over to kind of get what you're wanting here. But if we go to part up here, we can start adding parts. So let's add a block. So under part, go to block. And then as you can see, I've actually added this little block here. I'm going to bring it closer to you to kind of see where that is there. And then if I wanted to, I go to scale, resize it. And if I wanted to, I can just kind of make it into a square and then extend it a little bit. And then if I wanted to, drag it up a little bit. And then I want to move that, and I want it to be a little bit above the spawn point. So if I go here and I actually look at this, I can see it's going to be above my spawn point. What do you want to do if you want to play the game and test it? What you would do is you would just hit the blue play button in the toolbar up here. It'll load the game with the name of the game that you've given it. And as you can see, it'll load your character in. And then if we move everything out of the way here, you can see I can just manipulate this just like this. So here is the spawn point that we've added here. And then you just had this little block there that we just added, right? So we're going to go ahead and click on the red stop button to get out of the testing so we can go back to building the game itself. Now, with this spawn point here, I'm going to go ahead and go to my select tool and select the spawn point. I actually don't want to see that. So I want to make the transparency on that to be 100%. So go over here to properties, go to transparency and click into that and then go ahead and make that 100%. And now you're not going to be able to see it. When you go into the game, you'll just see the block and you won't actually see the transparent, spawn point there. All right, so now let's add a structure. Let's go to part here, and all of these parts are going to be like shapes, like a block, a sphere, a wedge, corner wedge, cylinder. If you want to add an actual structure right here under your toolbox, just go to structure and you can see you can add roads, you can add checkpoints for your obbies, you can add different stores that people have created themselves. And if you wanted to, you could even generate or import different terrain for you here. So if you want to, you can go to generate. And then if you wanted to, you can, you want it to be plains, you want it to be hilly, and then you click on generate, and then it'll go through a process here of actually generating the terrain in which you've selected, right? And you can even choose and change the biome size if you want it to have caves or not. And then you'll see it kind of start creating that terrain for you here. But if you wanted to, you could actually create all of this from scratch. But again, that is a little bit beyond kind of what we're covering or talking about today. So here we go. If I zoom out a little bit, this is our new terrain here, and you can see that kind of where we're going there. And if we go into play and view that, you're going to see that we actually spawn into exactly where our spawn point is, which is right here. So now we're just going to show you a little bit about how to kind of customize the different elements within your game. So if we have the little block selected here, we can actually go right here. You can see the part here. We can hit that there, and we can start adding something that's called a script. If we click into a script is going to be like code. So you have script that you're going to write for specific elements or assets within your game. All right, a couple other things that I want to show you today is basically you can see some trending assets here that a lot of folks are using. You can, under trending here, under the toolbox, you can go to see all, and then you can see the different trending items that a lot of folks are using within their game. Also, another thing that I wanted to show you here is underneath the properties tab here. So if we click on this box here, you can see that right here, if you go to brick color, like under appearance, appearance is going to be exactly what that asset looks like. Go to brick color here, and you can change that to look however you want it to look, right? Material, it's set as plastic. If you hit the drop-down menu there, you can actually have the texture or the material of that block to change if that's something that you want to do. And I've already showed you about transparency, how to make that show up or not show up. Again, if I wanted to, I can just go to my toolbox here. I can click on something, and it's going to add that specific asset. I can add it here, go to the rotate tool, and I can even rotate that to be the size that I want it to be. The last thing I want to show you is how to publish your game. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to go to File right here, And then you'd want to go to Publish to Roblox. So click that there. And then you will give your game a name, description, the creator is you, what genre the game is, the devices that it's available for, and then Team Create. It enables collaboration for your game. So it allows people to come in and collaborate and autosave to the cloud for you to maybe publish the changes or bug fixes that they make for your game as well. Once you create that game, you go to Create here, just like that. Give it a name, and it is successfully uploaded to Roblox for you and other people to explore if you made it public, right? And now when you open up Roblox Studio, you go to My Games, and you can see here, this is the one that I just made. It's private. So what I could do is I could just right-click on that there and go to Make Public. Or if it's a public one, I could right-click on that there and go to Make Private. If you want to get rid of one, you can archive it by right-clicking here and going to Archive, and you can view those by going to the Archive tab here. So again, you start by going to New, choose the template or the blank base plate option here, and just begin the process of adding the elements, designing them, and placing them where you want them to go. If you have any further questions, please put those in the comment section down below. If this helped you out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.